In 1969, we had a garbage workers strike in Oklahoma City.
As a former city attorney of Oklahoma City, Jim Hamill is no stranger to difficult negotiations.
It seems somehow the strikers knew how to turn off the electricity at City Hall. Wrote the proclamation by candlelight. It was typed up on manual typewriter.
Providing critical assistance through that negotiation was the Oklahoma Municipal League. Whether it's tales of working through late-night legislation or stories of a mayor making a connection to help his city, OML has an inspired history of working with local governments to bring the state together.
This was a mechanism to where all the cities and towns in the state could work together for a common purpose, which benefited everyone.
Since its founding in 1913, OML has remained a resilient group dedicated to helping local governments develop a voice in the state. After Oklahoma was founded in 1907, most of the old municipal laws were enacted on a state level, which made the economy for several smaller cities difficult to live in. Many of these laws were never amended or revised until OML stepped in during the 1970s.
Starting about 1973 or 4, for the next 10 years, there were huge changes in municipal law. And OML either provided leadership for some of those things or provided the training and support for us to react to those changes.
Over the last 35 years that I've worked with OML, we've probably been involved in hundreds of pieces of legislation over the years. The most significant of those probably came in 1979 with the development of the Oklahoma Municipal Budget Act. What we had prior to that act was an old archaic budget law that's existed since statehood that was just completely out of date.
In the late 70s, the League created task force groups that would become key in revising the entire municipal code, still used today.
They actually asked for some way to meet together and get the range of people, the technical people who are actually run the departments, whatever, along with city managers and others who had issues in regard to utilities.
Despite the major changes, its mission stayed the same.
It was basically the only place that I could represent small towns and still be heard.
The revisions proved integral to the League, and today representatives agree these changes have left their mark on legislation.
Just about everything that's happened through the legislative process in the last 30 years, for the most part, has been very positive.
OML has become crucial to the state, with over 97% of Oklahoma's urban population having become members by its centennial year. This invaluable growth has led to significant legislation to ensure every member is benefited.
The number of bills that are presented now are in the thousands. It was in the hundreds back when I first became affiliated with the League. That's probably 10 or 15, maybe 20 times the number of bills that we first started looking at in 1972 when I first came to the Municipal League.
With an ongoing need for better communication between cities and towns, OML remains key and relevant to all parties around the state.
It's as critical as it's ever been. OML is going to have to continue to be their voice at the state capitol.
The Oklahoma Municipal League has a remarkable 100-year history, but its greatest stories are still waiting to be written as we look to the future.